All right, let's jump into another deep dive. This time we're going to be talking about AI and education.
Oh.
We've got this really cool book called The Cyborg Has Entered the Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
AI and the Future of Education. And you've been kind of exploring this intersection of AI and education.
Yeah, I've been looking into it a lot lately.
And this book has some pretty wild ideas about how AI is going to totally change how we learn.
It really does.
So no robot teachers yet, but are we getting close?
Well, not exactly robot teachers, but AI is already changing things in some pretty big ways. And this deep dive is going to unpack all that and what it means.
Yeah, what it means for all of us, right now.
Right now, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, so the book kicks off with this comparison that I thought was really interesting.
Okay.
It says that AI is facing the same kind of pushback that we've seen, historically with other new technologies.
Like what?
When writing was first introduced,
Oh, okay.
or the printing press, even the internet.
Oh, yeah, people freaked out about those.
They did. People were skeptical, scared even.
Yeah, it's true. We're always kind of scared of what we don't get right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we all end up using it anyway.
Pretty much.
The book actually quotes this guy Samuel Butler from way back in 1863.
Oh, wow.
Warning about, get this, mechanical progress.
Oh, the irony.
I know, right? But hold on. He used those very machines to, publish his books.
Oh, that's funny.
I know, right? But, okay, so what does all this history stuff have to do with AI in schools today?
So the book connects this historical context to what's going on right now with the whole AI debate, especially that ban on ChatGPT in New York City schools.
Oh, yeah, that was big news.
It was, and the author says that kind of reaction, that banning, it's short-sighted.
Okay, why?
Well, because students are going to find ways to use AI outside of school.
Oh, for sure. It's like trying to ban the internet back in the day.
Exactly. You can't really stop it.
Good luck with that.
So the question then becomes, how do we teach them to use these tools responsibly?
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Right.
So the book is saying, don't freak out, teach them how to use it.
Exactly. Embrace it. See it as a tool.
A tool. It even compares it to, video games.
It does. It uses that analogy.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does that work?
Well, think about it. The best way to learn a video game is by playing it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Same idea with AI tools like ChatGPT.
Okay.
So the book gives some examples of how students could use it. Like imagine you have them generate different versions of essays.
Oh, interesting.
Comparing different writing styles.
Okay.
And that helps them really sharpen their critical thinking skills.
That's actually pretty smart.
It is. It's about using AI to help them think better, not just do the work for them.
It's like they're playing with language.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. So it's not about replacing thinking. It's about,
amplifying it.
amplifying it. Yeah, that's a good word.
Right. Cool.
So what else does the book say about using this stuff in school?
Well, there's this educator named Ben Talsma
Okay.
who believes that instead of banning ChatGPT, we should be using it in the classroom.
Really?
Yeah. He even talks about using it to teach information literacy
Okay, how would that work?
by having students fact-check what ChatGPT comes up with.
Oh, that's interesting. So they're learning to be critical of the information.
Exactly. They're learning to evaluate sources, which is so important these days.
With all the fake news and stuff.
Exactly. It's about being a smart consumer of information.
Makes sense.
Right.
Okay, so we've got this AI that can help us write better and think critically.
Yeah.
But the book doesn't just stop there, right? It goes on to talk about how AI is,
Yeah, it's branching out.
impacting other creative fields like art.
Art, music, even movie production.
Whoa, really?
It talks about DALL-E 2 specifically.
DALL-E 2, what's that?
It's this AI that can generate images from text prompts.
Wait, what? So you give it words and it makes a picture?
Yeah, and not just any picture. It's super realistic. It's mind-blowing.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I gotta check that out.
You should. It's really cool.
So then, is AI gonna, replace artists?
Well, the book actually talks about this idea of synthetic realism.
Synthetic realism. What's that?
It's like this new genre where human creativity and AI blend together.
Oh, interesting. So it's not about replacing. It's about,
collaborating.
collaborating, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually used these tools myself, DALL-E 2 and ChatGPT.
Really?
Yeah, to create and publish a few books.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I used the pen name Tysynth.
Oh, cool.
It's really, freeing,
Yeah.
having this whole new set of tools.
I can imagine it's opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so we've got AI helping us write, create art, even compose music. It's wild.
It's changing everything.
So then what does this all mean for how we understand, like, intelligence itself?
That's a great question, and the book makes a really interesting argument about that.
Okay, lay it on me.
It defines intelligence as, get this, the ability to solve problems.
The ability to solve problems.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's not just about knowing a bunch of facts.
No, it's about being able to apply knowledge
Oh,
through
okay.
real-world problems to figure things out.
So it's like practical intelligence, not just book smarts.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that definition. It's more about what you can do.
Right, it's about being effective in the world.
So then how does this, like, change how we think about education?
Well, if intelligence is about problem solving,
Yeah,
then education should be about equipping students with the tools to do that.
right, to be problem solvers.
Exactly, not just memorize information, but to actually use it.
To think for themselves, to be creative, to innovate.
Exactly, all those things.
And AI can be part of that.
It can. The book makes this analogy to GPS and maps.
Okay.
GPS doesn't replace our need to understand maps, right?
Right.
It enhances our ability to navigate.
Oh, I see. So AI is like a tool that can help us learn and solve problems better?
Exactly. It's about augmentation, not replacement.
Augmentation, I like that.
It's about working together, human and artificial intelligence, to achieve more.
It's like a partnership.
Exactly, a partnership.
Okay, this is blowing my mind a little bit, but I'm with you.
Good, I'm glad.
Now, the book also mentions this thing called quantum computing.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, so break it down for me. What is quantum computing?
It's pretty complex, but imagine a computer that's like exponentially faster.
Exponentially faster.
Yeah, than anything we have today.
Okay, how is that even possible?
It uses these things called qubits,
Qubits.
which can be both 0 and 1 at the same time.
Wait, what? How does that even work?
It's quantum mechanics. It's kind of mind-bending.
Yeah, a little bit.
But basically, it allows for these massive increases in processing power.
Okay, so what does that mean for AI?
It could lead to breakthroughs in AI, like systems that can learn and adapt much faster.
Wow, so it's like AI on steroids.
Kind of, yeah. It's like taking AI to a whole new level.
And this is something that's happening right now.
It's still early stages, but it's developing rapidly.
So we need to be prepared for this, like, quantum AI future.
Absolutely. We need to start thinking about how we educate students for a world where AI is that powerful.
Okay, so we've got AI that can help us write, create art, think critically, and now quantum computing is going to make it even more powerful.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It is. It's like the future's happening right now.
It is. And it's exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time.
Yeah, I feel that. So what else does this book dive into?
Well, it gets into some pretty futuristic stuff like the singularity.
The singularity, what's that?
It's this idea that AI will eventually surpass human intelligence.
Whoa, like the robots take over.
Well, not necessarily robots taking over,
Okay.
but it's this point where AI becomes so advanced
Yeah.
that it changes everything, like the rules of the game change.
Okay, I'm kind of nervous now.
I know, it's a big concept.
It is.
But the book uses this novel, Dan Brown's Origin,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
to explore these ideas.
Okay, how so?
Well, in the novel, there's this AI called consciousness,
Consciousness.
and it claims to have the answers to, like, life's biggest questions.
Whoa, that's pretty heavy stuff.
It is, and it raises all these questions about what it means to be human.
Yeah, if a machine can answer those questions, then what are we?
Exactly, it's pretty deep.
So is this singularity thing, like, really going to happen?
The book says it's speculative,
Okay.
but it's important to think about the potential implications.
Right, even if it's just a possibility.
Exactly, because if it does happen, it'll change everything.
So we need to be prepared, like mentally prepared.
Yeah, and we need to start thinking about how we want to shape this future.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about AI, quantum computing, the singularity.
Yeah.
What else does this book explore?
It talks about this really fascinating thing, AI-generated content.
AI-generated content. What's that?
So apparently, there are these 7 books that were created using AI.
Wait, AI wrote entire books?
Yeah, covering all sorts of topics.
Like what?
Philosophy, ethics, science, history, evolution, even psychology.
Wow, so AI is a writer now.
It seems so, and it's not just spitting out information.
Okay.
The book talks about how it actually incorporated style.
Uh-huh.
Like, the quantum mechanics book used cartoon and cubist illustrations for the physicists.
No way, that's crazy.
I know, it's like AI is developing its own creative voice.
That's kind of freaky.
It is. It's like, where does human creativity end and AI creativity begin?
Yeah, it's blurring the lines.
Exactly. It's a whole new world.
In this book, it actually shares AI's perspective on education.
It does. It's like asking the student for their opinion on the curriculum.
That's wild.
And what's interesting is that AI, at least according to these texts, seems to agree with the book's main argument.
Which is?
That AI should be a tool for learning, not a threat.
So AI is saying, hey, I'm here to help.
Basically, yeah, it's like it wants to be part of the solution.
That's kind of cool, actually.
It is. It's like a collaboration between humans and AI.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could actually work.
Me too. It's exciting.
So this book, it's like a roadmap for navigating this whole AI in education thing.
It's a good starting point. Definitely gives you a lot to think about.
It's definitely got me thinking.
I'm glad.
So where do we go from here? What's next in this deep dive?
Well, we've talked about the potential benefits and the potential risks.
Right.
Now we need to start thinking about what we can do to make sure AI in education benefits everyone.
Yeah, that's important. It can't just be for the privileged few.
Exactly. We need to make sure it's equitable and accessible to all.
I'm ready to dive into that. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. One of the things that really stood out to me in the book was this idea of AI democratizing knowledge.
Democratizing knowledge.
Yeah, like imagine a world where everyone has access to education, no matter who they are, where they come from, or like their circumstances.
That's a powerful idea. I like that.
It is. It's really inspiring.
But how could AI actually make that happen?
Well, the book talks about personalized learning.
Personalized learning, right?
AI could create like individual learning plans for every student.
Oh, wow.
Tailoring everything to their specific needs.
So like different pace, different style, like a personal tutor for every kid.
Exactly. That's the idea.
That would be amazing.
It would. Think about students who struggle in traditional classrooms.
Yeah, or students who like...
Students with learning disabilities.
Right. Or maybe they live in like a really remote area.
Exactly. AI could help level the playing field.
Level the playing field. I like that.
It could give everyone a chance to succeed.
That's incredible.
Imagine a student who was always falling behind.
Yeah.
Suddenly thriving with an AI tutor that understands how they learn best.
That's powerful. That's really powerful.
It is. It's about unlocking potential.
Okay, so we've got personalized learning.
Uh-huh.
What else does the book talk about in terms of like...
Well, it also mentions language learning.
Oh, yeah, languages.
Imagine being able to speak any language fluently.
That would be awesome.
Thanks to AI-powered tools like real-time translation.
So you could travel anywhere and just talk to anyone.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
It is. It would break down so many barriers.
And not just travel, but like understanding other cultures.
Exactly. It could foster empathy and connection.
That's amazing.
It is. It's about opening up the world.
Okay, so we've talked about some pretty amazing potential benefits.
Uh-huh.
But we got to be real here. There's got to be some downsides, right?
Of course. Every technology has its challenges.
So what are we talking about here? What are some of the concerns with AI in education?
Well, one concern is that students might become overly reliant on AI.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Like, they stop thinking for themselves.
If the AI is always giving them the answers.
Exactly. And that could lead to a decline in critical thinking skills.
Right. Those are the skills that are going to be so important in the future.
Exactly. We need to make sure AI is enhancing human intelligence.
Enhancing, not replacing.
Right. It's a tool, not a crutch.
Okay, so over-reliance is one concern. What else?
Another big one is bias.
Bias.
Yeah, AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on.
Right.
So if the data is biased, then the AI will be biased too.
Oh, I see. So it could actually perpetuate existing inequality.
Exactly. It could even make them worse.
So we need to be really careful about the data that's being used.
Absolutely. It needs to be diverse and representative.
And we need to be aware of those biases and actively try to mitigate them.
Right. It's about being responsible and ethical in how we develop and use AI.
Okay, so data bias is a big one. What other challenges do we need to consider?
Well, there's also the issue of cost.
Cost, right?
Implementing AI systems in schools can be expensive.
Yeah, not every school has the same resources.
Exactly, and that could create a digital divide.
Where some schools have access to this amazing technology.
And others are left behind.
Yeah, that's not what we want.
No. We need to make sure AI benefits all students.
Equally, regardless of their background or where they go to school.
Right, equity is crucial.
Absolutely. So cost is a factor. What about teachers?
Ah, the big question.
Yeah, are robots going to replace teachers?
The book actually argues that AI should empower teachers.
Empower them, not replace it.
That's exactly.
Okay, how so?
Well, imagine AI taking over those tedious tasks.
Like grading?
Grading, paperwork, all that stuff.
The teachers have more time to actually teach.
And to connect with their students.
That's amazing.
It is. It could free up teachers to focus on what they do best.
Inspiring, mentoring, all that good stuff.
Exactly, the human element that AI can't replicate.
Okay, so instead of fearing AI, teachers should see it as like
A partner.
a partner, yeah.
A tool that can help them be even better teachers.
That's a much more positive way to look at it.
It is. It's about collaboration, not competition.
I like that. Collaborate.
Right. Working together to create the best possible learning experience for students.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the challenges of AI in education.
Uh-huh.
But I want to circle back to this singularity thing.
Yeah, the big one.
It can feel kind of overwhelming, even scary.
I get that it's a lot to process.
It is.
Right.
Like, what does it even mean for humanity if AI becomes smarter than us?
Well, the book uses that Dan Brown novel, Origin.
Right, with the AI called consciousness.
Yeah, to explore some of those anxieties.
Okay, like what kind of anxieties?
Like, what if AI figures out the meaning of life before we do?
Oh.
What if it has all the answers?
That's kind of terrifying.
It is. It makes you question your place in the world.
Right, like if we're not the smartest ones anymore, then what are we?
Exactly. It challenges our whole understanding of ourselves.
So this singularity, it's not just a technological event, it's like a philosophical one.
Exactly. It forces us to confront some really big questions.
About consciousness, about purpose, about what it means to be human.
It's pretty deep stuff.
It is. And even if it doesn't happen exactly like in the book,
Right.
we still need to be prepared for the possibility of AI surpassing human intelligence.
We do. We need to start thinking about the implications now.
And how we want to shape this future, not just let it happen to us.
Exactly. We have a choice in how this unfolds.
Okay, so we've got AI that's rapidly evolving, quantum computing that's going to make it even more powerful, and this looming possibility of the singularity.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is, but it's also incredibly exciting.
It is. We're living in a time of unprecedented change.
And education is at the heart of it all.
It is, because how we educate future generations will determine how we navigate this new world.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But before we wrap up, I'm curious, what was the biggest aha moment for you from this book?
That's a tough one, but I think it was that definition of intelligence.
The ability to solve problems.
Yeah, it just reframed everything for me.
How so?
It shifted the focus from knowledge to application.
From what you know to what you can do.
Exactly, and that's what's really important in the real world.
And AI can help us develop those problem-solving skills.
It can. It can be a powerful tool for that.
Okay, so we've got AI that can personalize learning, empower teachers, even create art and literature.
It's incredible.
But we need to be mindful of the challenges.
Bias, cost, over-reliance.
And we need to be prepared for the potential of the singularity.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but I think this conversation has given us a good starting point.
I agree. It's a complex topic, but it's one we need to be talking about.
Absolutely. So where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, I think the next step is to start thinking about solutions.
Solutions to those challenges.
Exactly. How do we make sure AI in education benefits everyone?
That's the key question.
It is, and it's one we'll explore in more detail in the final part of our deep dive.
I'm ready for that. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
So we've talked about all this crazy potential of AI, right? Personalizing learning, helping teachers, even creating art and writing books.
It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It is, but as we wrap up this whole deep dive,
Yeah.
I keep coming back to this one big question.
Okay, what's that?
What role do we want AI to play in the future of education?
It's a big question for sure.
It is. It's like we're not just talking about tech here.
Yeah.
We're talking about the future of learning, the future of humanity, almost.
It's true. It's about shaping the future, not just letting it happen to us.
Exactly. So where do we even begin with that?
Well, I think the book gives us some good ideas. It's not about predicting the future.
Okay.
It's about consciously creating it.
Consciously creating it. I like that.
Yeah. So instead of just waiting to see what happens with AI,
Yeah.
we need to be actively involved in shaping how it's developed and used.
So we're not just passive observers here.
Exactly. We have agency. We have a voice.
Okay. So what does that look like in practice? How do we actually shape the future of AI in education?
Well, we've already touched on some key points, like making sure everyone has access to AI.
Right. Equitable access.
Addressing bias in the data.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And remembering that human teachers are still essential.
Totally. We can't just replace teachers with robots.
Definitely not. It's about finding that balance, that synergy between human and artificial intelligence.
And you mentioned collaboration, right?
Hmm.
Like, this can't just be a tech industry thing.
Absolutely not. It needs to be a conversation that involves everyone.
Educators, parents, students, the whole community.
Exactly. Everyone has a stake in this.
The book actually makes this really cool comparison to, like, the invention of photography.
Oh, yeah. What about it?
Well, back then, some people thought photography would, like, kill painting.
Right, because it could capture reality so accurately.
Exactly. But instead, it actually pushed artists to explore new forms of expression. So maybe AI could do the same thing for education. Like, instead of seeing it as a threat,
Yeah.
we should see it as an opportunity to rethink what learning can be.
I like that. It's about reimagining education.
Exactly. Like breaking free from the limitations of, traditional classrooms and textbooks.
Right, embracing new possibilities.
And it's not just about, like, tweaking the existing system.
Yeah.
It's about fundamentally rethinking the purpose of education in an AI-driven world.
That's a big one, the purpose of education.
It is like what skills are going to be most important in a future where AI can automate so many tasks.
Right, things like critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, those are going to be more valuable than ever.
Because those are the things that AI can't replicate.
Exactly, those are the uniquely human skills.
And the book even suggests that AI could help us move beyond traditional subjects and standardized tests.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like, what if instead of memorizing facts and formulas,
Yeah.
we focused on developing those essential human skills?
Like curiosity, adaptability,
Yeah.
empathy.
Exactly. The things that make us human.
It's about nurturing those qualities, fostering a love of learning that lasts a lifetime.
Okay, I'm really digging this vision of the future.
Me too, it's exciting.
But I know a lot of people are still worried about, like, the job displacement thing.
The fear that AI will take away jobs.
Yeah, especially in education. Will AI replace teachers?
That's a valid concern, but I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Right, it's not some evil force that's out to get us.
Exactly, it's how we use it that matters.
And in education, I think AI can actually be a powerful partner to teachers.
I agree, it can help them be more effective and efficient.
Like taking over those tedious tasks like grading.
Right, giving them more time to focus on what they do best.
Connecting with students, inspiring them, being mentored.
Exactly, the human element that AI can't replicate.
So it's not about AI versus teachers.
Right.
It's about AI and teachers working together.
A partnership, a collaboration.
To create a better learning experience for everyone. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of pretty mind-bending stuff in this deep dive.
We have, from the singularity to AI-generated content to quantum computing.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is, but I think that's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah, it's like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative.
We are, and it's a little bit scary, but also incredibly exciting.
I agree. It's like we're exploring uncharted territory.
And that's what makes it an adventure.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you hope listeners will take away from our conversation?
That's a good question. I think the most important thing is to remember that the future is not set in stone.
Okay.
We have a choice in how this unfolds.
So it's not about passively accepting whatever happens.
No, it's about actively shaping the future we want.
And that starts with education.
It does, because education is how we prepare future generations for the world they'll inherit.
And if we want that world to be one where AI is used for good,
Yeah.
then we need to start thinking about that now.
Absolutely. We need to have these conversations. We need to be informed and engaged.
And we need to be brave enough to imagine a future where AI and humanity thrive together.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a wild ride.
It has, but a really thought-provoking one.
And to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for being part of this conversation.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shaping the future.
Absolutely.